Okay. Hi there. I think I'm online again. Welcome to my stream. Today I'm just going to do kind of an impromptu thing, very much not formal. I hope my connection speed is good enough. I'm Let's close that. I just had a project that I pulled up, a new piece for the Alfgard project, and I was going through testing out some instruments. I recently got Composer Cloud, so I was going through and checking out a bunch of drums in Storm Drum, and I thought, why not just stream this? It nothing really super information wise, educational or anything, just me going through the drums. But then I thought, they just came out with Opus. I haven't actually tried it out yet. Opus came out in the middle of my last project that I was working on, which I was using a few EastWest instruments, some stuff from Hollywood Brass and some stuff from Storm Drum. But I just continued using the Play Engine because I took one quick look at Opus and I thought, I'm not going to complicate this project by trying to learn a new engine right in the middle of it. So I thought, why don't I take a look at Opus. I have no idea what just flashed up on the screen. Why don't I just take a look at Opus on a stream, very first time trying to use it, and I have no idea if it's going to work. I mean, I'm sure it's going to work. I don't know how to get it to work yet, but that's what I'm going to hope to figure out here. So I'm just going to add a new track, software instrument, East West, and we'll go with Opus. Create. I'm just going to give it the name Opus and get rid of that little thing which I don't need. And let's check out Opus. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of stuffiness going on here today, so excuse my coughing that I might have. Okay, and I've heard about this, so these are the libraries that I've already downloaded when I was just using the Play Engine, but then I've got this database that I can go into to check out the individual sounds in each library, which I think is very cool, because that effectively turns their entire catalog of sample libraries into like one virtual sample library. And so you can check out these sounds without having to spending hours and hours downloading several different libraries just to hear like one sound that you might be interested in. So I'll get to that. First, I just want to try to get one of my regular libraries working in Opus. Let's check out Hollywood Brass. So how about 2 French horns? We'll go with that. Let's go with some longs. Let's go with Mark Sus Light. Okay. Okay, so okay. That's kind of neat. So you click on the instrument and it plays you a sample. I can see how that will be both helpful and annoying. Because if I know what I'm going for, if I know exactly what sample I want, and I have to hear a little blip when I click on it every single time, that will get annoying. There might be a way to turn that feature off, but it is kind of nice if you if you don't know exactly which sample you want to go with, rather than double clicking it, waiting for it to load, and then playing notes. If you can just hear a sample note, that's kind of nice. But I think it'll probably end up being annoying. Anyways, we loaded the Mark Sus Lite, and it does not play. So let's go to the play screen. And is this like a channel issue? Why isn't it... Channel 1. Okay. What if I just switch to Omni? Okay. So I must not have a channel specified on my instrument track. That's fine. Okay, so this part is similar. It's updated, but it's similar to the play engine. But it's got the classic... soft. Ooh, nice. Mood lighting. Or maybe it doesn't have a soft. All the keys are grayed out. Maybe French horn Mark Sus Lite doesn't have a soft mood to it. Does have epic. Nice. Don't quite know what the difference is. What is the difference between classic and epic? Let's see if we can see. Does it have reverb on by default? It does. Okay. So that's something to pay attention to. That I don't usually have the reverb on per instrument like this, because it eats up your memory. If you have reverb on every single instrument, and it I mean, just concept wise, it doesn't make sense to necessarily. If the instruments, like if you have an orchestra stage filled with instruments, each of those instruments has the same reverb. In reality, in the real world, they're in the same room, they're in the same concert hall, they have the same reverb, and so as long as you're using instruments that already sound like they are in the same room, then it doesn't make sense to apply reverb per instrument. Now, you do sometimes need to do that to get them into the same room. If you're using different types of sample libraries, if I'm using BBC Symphony and Hollywood Brass, they don't sound like they were recorded in the same room because they weren't. And so you might need to put some reverb on those instruments in order to get them sounding like they're in the same concert hall. And then you can add a collective reverb on like a submix bus. But I still, even when I do that, I usually don't do the reverb per instrument. I usually like take all of the Hollywood brass instruments, submix them to a bus, and then have a reverb on that bus, rather than eating up memory with reverb on every single Hollywood brass instrument. But if in the Opus engine, if everything loads with the reverb on by default, that's gonna have to be something that I remember to do, is go and turn that off, probably. I mean, it of course sounds epic, but, and so it's a different hall, and this is an HDIR Cathedral 2.8. This is a Southern California hall, I believe, all brass. Versus this. Much longer tail to that reverb. Yeah, and the settings are different here. Okay, and so what else is different here? Legato time, expression, concertino, sustain. Are any of those numbers different? some of the letters change because the font is a slightly, has different kerning or whatever. I don't, but the numbers are all the same. Okay. And the envelope is the same. The range is the same. Huh. Okay, so I'm honestly not sure how much this mood setting is worth it. If the only difference between classic and epic mood is that they slap on a different reverb with a different tail to it, which I'm going to turn off anyways. Okay, well, I guess maybe you can take the mood as as just something to give you an idea of what different style you can use it for, maybe. Just kind of a sample default setting. I don't know. Now, maybe the other instruments have different moods. There are different settings besides reverb to their mood. Let's take a look at what MIDI tools. What is that? Nothing, apparently. There might different samples might have things showing up in here. I don't know yet. Automation, MIDI controller mapping. Okay, so you can map your different controller options to the different MIDI controller channels. Okay. Automation parameter. Mixer main volume. Huh. I don't know quite what to do with those, but let's go to the perform screen here. Voice limit. Okay. Oh, interesting. So you can turn down the voice limit to kind of set a cap on how many voices, therefore how much RAM the instrument's going to use, I suppose. You can set a key range. Interesting. So if you even though you have from here all the way up to here, if you know you're not going to be playing notes from there to there or from there to there, you can set it from A to A so that you don't accidentally, like if you're in the higher range, I don't know. That might be useful. Zones, all instances. So I'm not really sure what that is. I'll have to learn that. And then you got your mix window, which is pretty similar to the Play Engine mix window. I don't know what differences it has. It's got the insert for the reverb and reverb and send. And you can adjust the reverb send. You got your different mics. Okay. And I don't have the diamond or platinum instruments. I have the gold. So you probably have more mics showing up here if you have diamond. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's go to something like... Take a little drink. Let's go to something like strings. Let's do an ensemble. Short. And we'll do the staccato round robin. Interesting. Okay. I did not know that. I mean, clearly an ensemble is an ensemble. If you're dealing with an orchestra, it's going to be all the families of instruments together. But since I had clicked on Hollywood Strings, I for some reason did not expect the ensemble to include woodwinds and brass. But I guess it does. All right, let's load that one up. Yeah, I don't like that. Hear the sample. I think that might have been better. Because I heard the sample note. I don't need to hear it again when I double click to load it. Okay. Anyways, let's go to play. I think my stream just kicked me off. So, oh, hang on. There it goes again. I'm monitoring the stream on my phone here, and it's just on my desk, and it all of a sudden said I was offline. So I don't know how long I was technically offline, but or if I was, maybe it was just my phone that dropped out. Anyways, let me bring that back down. So I was just playing around with this ensemble. Let's take a look at what the difference is between classic and epic. So yeah, different reverb, and it auto loads the reverb. There's a stereo double. I'm not sure. The amount looks like it's all the way down, but it looks like it's on. Okay, and there is a soft for this one. I think it's just the reverb. The only thing that's different. I mean, the numbers down here, the envelope, it's all the same. Yeah. So it comes with the mid loaded. Oh wow, that's a lot different. That close mic is put the reverb on just to hear it. Oh, the reverb doesn't sound like it's doing much for the close. Let's switch to epic. Load that. So you can see the RAM number jump up there when I load it. Doubles. Okay. Anyways, no MIDI tools for this one. Automation's the same. All the perform stuff is the same. Okay. Let's take a look at the database, because I really want to see what this is like. So the okay, and these have download options, download icons on them. Okay, and it shows up here what these are from. Are they all going to be from Ministry of Ra? No. Okay. There's Steven Wilson's Ghost Writer. Different Ministry of Rock. Goliath. Okay. So if I go to like ethnic strings, a baritone violin, that's in Ra, apparently. Okay. A hurdy-gurdy. If I want a hurdy-gurdy, that's also in Ra. I have Ra downloaded. Silk. I've got Silk downloaded. What if I want a guitar? Let's go with an acoustic guitar. And so these have the download icon. So these would be ones that I need to download. Acoustic God. 2 guitars. That's from Fab 4. Here comes the guitar. Nice. Why is the Washburn guitar in Ra? Huh. I'm going to try this I'm a Blackbird guitar. So if I double click on this, installation error, Fab 4 is not installed. Do you want to download the instrument now? Okay. I'll just click download and see what. Okay, so it asks me where I want to put it. And if I just tell it to put it in the EastWest folder, do you want to remember this directory for all downloads? Sure. Okay, and it just downloaded it. I've still got the ensemble in there, so I'll remove that. Go to player. Oh, right. Okay. Is it still loading or what? Okay, it's still loading. Yeah, there goes the RAM. Here comes the RAM. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And, okay, there's the total. So that one keeps going up. And this is probably killing the stream. Is there any indication on how big that is? Okay, I clicked on this to download it. Okay, I don't see any indication on how big this particular instrument was. And I also don't know, is it downloading just the instrument? Is it downloading all of Fab 4? There's a Fab 4 folder now. Okay, it looks like it's just working on Blackbird. Fab 4 instruments, guitars, Blackbird. Okay. So yeah, it is just downloading the Blackbird guitar. Still have no idea how big it was. So if there's a place to see that before you download the instrument, I have no idea. I'm looking at the database right now. If I pick a different one, guitar, blah, blah, blah. And it tells me the guitars and the amps that they used, and this just describes the Fab 4 library. Huh. I would think that they would want to display the size of the instrument in the database here before someone went to download them. Hopefully they're going to make some updates to this Opus engine, and maybe that's one of the updates they can do, because when you're using the EastWest installation tool, where you can install an entire library, that tells you how big the library is before you click download, so that if I don't want to download something that's 80 gigabytes, I won't click on it and start that download. But with this individual instrument, it looks like it might be done. And 177 megabytes seems pretty logical for an instrument size. And it's not transferring any more data now, so it must be done. Again, they should have that listed next to the instrument before you click download, so that you can say, I don't want to spend however much time my computer's going to spend. And yeah, it might only be minutes compared to hours for downloading the whole library, but still, if you're trying to go move a project forward, you might not want to spend those minutes downloading an instrument when you can grab a different one much quicker. Anyways. Okay. So it did download. Nice. So it did download that one individual instrument. It's really cool. So now it has a star next to it instead of the download icon. Awesome. Okay. One more thing I'm going to try to download. Just remove that. I'm just going to download, or not download, just load and try out. Let's try a cello. Let's try a legato, slur, and port. Let's try that one. There. Right. Okay, so that's another thing I've got to remember is to make sure I've got the right MIDI channels selected before I jump into play, or else I'll be switching everything to Omni. That one D to G transition, I'm not sure if that's the slur coming into it, but it definitely has something that's like a little bit out of tune for a second. It's probably the slur. Sounds really nice. With some of the Hollywood strings instruments, I mean, as awesome as the recording quality is, I did notice when I first started playing around with Composer Cloud, I noticed that yeah, they're superb quality recordings and samples, but the way that some of the legatos and stuff are programmed is a little bit dated. Like you can play it and you kind of hear how it works when all of that stuff should really be behind the curtain. It should be some hidden magic that like I don't even know how they're making those legatos change from note to note. That kind of work should be behind the scenes in the programming, and it shouldn't be something that you can play and hear how they're doing what they're doing. So, which it's fine as long as you know that it's there and you can work around it. But if you don't have to be concerned with it at all, that's so much better. So I'll have to play around with the Opus engine now and take a listen to some of those same Hollywood strings patches and everything. Yeah, I just used the word patches. I'm old. And take a listen to some of those and hear if they've still got the same kind of transitional things that date them, because as I understand, they didn't re-record a lot of these samples. What they did was they changed how they work. If they did re-record some of them, that's awesome. But I believe they just took the existing libraries that they had and revamped the behind the scenes stuff, the programming that goes into them, and the programming of the interface to make it more intuitive. Which it is more intuitive, but I don't know if the new bells and whistles really do all that much for me. Like the mood thing is a really nice idea, but if all it does is change the reverb, that doesn't help me at all. Because whenever I load one of these, I'm immediately going to be going in and turning off the reverb so that I can apply apply a bus reverb to multiple instruments. Anyways, yeah, it does seem more intuitive of an interface than the Play Engine, and I really like the feature that you can go in and download individual instruments out of these libraries. I do wish that they put the sample size so that you could see it before you clicked to download, but it's probably not that big of a deal with most instruments. So, all right, I think I'm going to end it there. I went longer than I thought I would on this stream, and this might be multiple streams because it might have, like, my internet might have jacked me up a bit and split it somehow. Because this says at 18 minutes, and I know I've gone longer than 18 minutes, so maybe I'll go on Twitch after this and see that I just did like 7 streams. And like, okay, well, if that's the case, I'll download what I can and join them up into one file and put them on YouTube on my channel over there, Heimberger Music. So next time I hop in here, I'm probably going to be doing just like another trying out stream where I just go in and try out different instruments to see as I start up this new project that I'm working on, and then just play around with some of these EastWest Composer Cloud instruments, especially now that I can download individual ones with this Opus engine. And sometime I'll have to try out what this Hollywood Orchestrator is, because I've heard about it, but I haven't looked at it at all. So I'll be looking at that sometime soon too. All right, so that is it for now. I will see you next time.